Good afternoon. Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. I am so glad that you are here with me. I am so happy about it. It's a wonderful Thursday. And because of that, I am thankful to God. Thankful because we are here. We're able to be here today and be able to enjoy one more day of life because of how good God is to each and every one of us. And I am so grateful. I'm trying to get my monitor up there to make sure that I am on here. Let me see. It shows. Let me see. I want to go back and do this. But dear God, as I sit before you speak, I pray to you that my soul you will keep. And if I should die before I finish, I pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. This is part of you, and I am so privileged and blessed to be here with you today. I am so thankful for you because you have chosen to be with me today. And for that, I am so grateful. You are awesome. You are wonderful. And God, He is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Oh, yes, He is. And we're talking about ulterior motives today. Ulterior motives. What is an ulterior motive? Is doing one thing, but you have another reason for doing that thing. And then also in my study, it says that all ulterior motives is not always bad to have an ulterior motive. But then there are some facts and studies about ulterior motives, and I want to read what I'm going to present to you today. The omission bias that plays in with ulterior motives, the omission bias. Then there's Fortune pointed out that there are two kinds of intentions. Two kinds of intentions. There's abstract intentions to cause an outcome and specific plans for causing that outcome. But both play a role in moral reckonings. Both play a role in moral reckoning. So we're talking about ulterior motives. And also they say that some people say ulterior motives, and that intended to say ulterior motives. And they say the difference between an ulterior and an ulterior is that ulterior is a word that does not exist, but hey, it's existing, even though it might not have a meaning. It's existing, okay? So ulterior is not a defined word, but it is usually a spelling used for ulterior. And they say it just depends on how the person hears it and how a person says the word. And then people spell many times according to what they hear. Okay? So now I've got that out there. Actions are more obvious than inactions. We're going to talk about that today. Actions are more obvious than inactions. And blame outcomes on actions rather than inactions. The omission bias, that's what that is. And then next, I have this finally understanding, and this is what I really like because it seems maybe sometimes if we're pouring out and pointing out to everybody else, you have this going on, and we all can stand some lessons, we can stand some understanding, we can stand to look at ourselves and see if any of us, this is in us. So, finally, understanding your own ulterior motives can be a profound journey of self discovery and growth. It encourages honesty and integrity in one's actions and interactions. So that's what we're going to cover today. And I want to go here to, let's see, what is this I wanted to tell here before not necessarily bad. I didn't put my stabilizer on my ear today, so you might see me pushing at these earbuds. Not necessarily bad, and this is talking about is an ulterior motive always bad? And it tells us not necessarily bad. So let me go ahead and get this to you, and then we'll get on with the rest of what I have to talk about today, talking about ulterior motives. And we all have witnessed ulterior motives. We've all had ulterior motives. Not saying that they were bad, but we have. It's you have an intention of doing something, but it might come under the disguise of something else. Okay? Not necessarily bad. Let me get this right here. I got that one pretty big there, so let me take it down a little bit. Oh, no. Let me get back to that. Okay. Not necessarily bad. So there are things going on here. I'm trying to get this centered. There we go. And I need to bring that point down. I hope you're doing well today. I hope you're doing very well. I am, and I am so thankful because we know that things can always take a turn at the least expected fraction of a second. So for every moment that I have, I am so grateful for every moment that I have. Now, ulterior motives are not necessarily bad, but they can lead to unhealthy ways of thinking and reacting to things, which can cause depression and anxiety, prolonged stressors, and create chronically stressed states of mind that can affect your heart health and immunity. Okay? So it's not true. Listen to this. It is not true that the ulterior motive destroys the benevolent one, depriving the action of all goodness it would otherwise have. The fact that a hidden selfish motive and a good one may coexist shows that ulterior motives are not always bad. So I wanted to point that out today also. And that is from Wiki, no, that's from Microsoft Bing, excuse me, Microsoft Bing. All right, now let's get to these points that we want to make. And this is not alone. This is a site E, the letter E, not alone. Lowercase e, not alone. Okay, this is a site. Now, I have not been to this site before, but this has such a good presentation here, and I'm going to present it first, talking about ulterior motives. Those ulterior motives, you have to really be careful. 10 ways to handle ulterior motives. And what we're going to talk about here is the key takeaways here should be identify signs of hidden agendas, enhance communication and trust, set and respect boundaries, and consult professionals when needed. And we talk about this. We talk about it. Understanding ulterior motives. Understanding ulterior motives. And it's e not alone.com. e notalone.com. Ulterior motives often lurk beneath the surface of interactions, subtly influencing behaviors and decisions. You hear that? They often lurk beneath the surface of interactions and subtly, sneakily, slowly but surely, effectively influencing behaviors and decisions. Recognizing these hidden agendas is crucial for maintaining healthy relationships and making informed decisions. Decisions. This introduction will delve into the concept of ulterior motives, exploring why they exist and how they can affect various aspects of our lives. So, at its core, an ulterior motive is an underlying reason for doing something that is kept hidden. Got that, didn't you? At its core, an ulterior motive is an underlying reason for doing something that is kept hidden. And remember, it said that all of them are not bad. Some ulterior motives can be good, all right? So often these motives are not aligned with the overt actions or statements made by individuals. Understanding this can be a powerful tool for deciphering complex social interactions and professional relationships. So this can help you to know, okay, when you are in the presence of someone with an ulterior motive. The implications of ulterior motives are vast, impacting personal, social, and professional interactions. They can shape the dynamics within families, work environments, and friendships. Recognizing when someone may be driven by motives that are not openly acknowledging can help in navigating these relationships more effectively. So be on guard. Be on guard, right? Psychologically, ulterior motives can stem from a variety of needs and desires, including the desire for control, fear of rejection, or the need for approval. And when I saw this, read this, I said, wow, wow, I see it now. I see it. And I said, God, please forgive me. Now that I have understanding, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Because sometimes when things are done, we don't look at the underlying causes of things that are done. But I see that and I study it almost every day. Underlying, there are reasons for things that people do. So, ulterior motives can stem from a variety of needs and desires, including the desire for control, fear of rejection, or the need for approval. Understanding these psychological underpinnings is essential for addressing and mitigating the effects of hidden agendas. Thank you so much for being with me today. Now, this section here, we're going into this section also looks at the broader societal implications of ulterior motives in politics, in business, and personal relationships. These motives can lead to a lack of trust and communication breakdowns. You hear that? Exploring these areas will provide a rounded understanding of how pervasive and impactful ulterior motives can be. And they can ruin something for a lifetime. These ulterior motives. So it's good that God has directed me and we're on this today and we're learning and digging deep into these ulterior motives. And then as the deeper we go, then we see some signs that we didn't recognize in the past that now we will recognize and be aware of going forward. Okay, so finally, understanding, this is what I read, understanding your own ulterior motives can be a profound journey of self discovery and growth. It encourages honesty and integrity in one's actions and interactions. So take a look at yourself and you will look at others differently. All right? So now we're going to identify ulterior motives and we're going to look at the key signs. And this is enotalone.com. This is where I got this piece from. To effectively deal with ulterior motives, one must first be able to identify them. And this we know is with everything we have to identify and acknowledge. Okay? We have to acknowledge and identify whichever order you want to put it in. So to effectively deal with ulterior motives, one must first be able to identify them. This section outlines the key signs that may indicate someone has an ulterior motive. So being aware of these signs can help preempt conflicts and misunderstandings in various types of relationships. One of the first signs of ulterior motives is inconsistency between words and actions. One of the first signs of ulterior motives is inconsistency between words and actions. When an individual's statements do not align with their behavior, it may suggest hidden agendas. My goodness. Overly strategic behavior can also be a sign of ulterior motives. If someone often seems to be manipulating situations or people to achieve an outcome that benefits them, it's possible they have underlying motives. Another telling sign is secrecy or avoidance in communication. When people are not open about their intentions or avoid discussing their plans, they may be hiding something important. Oh my goodness. Changes in behavior that seem to align with the individual's goals rather than the group's or another's well-being can also indicate hidden motives. Observing how someone changes their approach in different contexts can provide insights into their true intentions. And last, emotional manipulation is a critical sign. If someone frequently uses emotions to influence others, it might be a strategy to further hidden objectives. And something's just in my mind, and it is really, 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 really weighing on my mind. And I think about this and some things are going on that I'm aware of. And I'm thinking, okay, this has to be a known fact, and that it is a danger to another individual as far as their well being, financially, emotionally, health wise, and the whole works. And then you think about a person and you say, maybe not. And then it comes to your mind, maybe this is what's going on in that person's mind. And then you try to say, no, I don't want to think of that. But then the thought came to me, okay, what if I have a friend or an acquaintance, someone close to me, and I'm just going to put it like in a simple way. You've heard the phrase, bull in a china shop. Now, I know that my friend, my acquaintance, has a china shop, all this beautiful fine china from all over the world in it. And then I have access to a bull, a wild bull. Now, I know that this bull is not good, no way, no how, to have connection with fine china in a china shop in an enclosed area. But I go and say, oh, I came and I got my pet bull with me, and I'm going to come on in. I'm going to bring him, her on in with me, and just turn it loose in the china shop. We know what's going to happen. I knew that there was a 99.9% chance that that bull was going to feel claustrophobic or just be a bull and start walking and switching his tail and maybe charging and tear all of that china up, knocking stuff over, breaking china and all that. I knew that was going to happen. It's just a given thing. So why did I, this person I'm supposed to care so much about, take a bull into this person's china shop? Why would I do that? Did I have an ulterior motive? Huh. It's something to be talked about. I just lost one there. It just fell on the floor. I'm going to have to put my other earpieces in. Okay. So that's an example that I thought about. I know that it's not a good thing to turn an animal, a bull, loose in a china shop. And it'll charge and it will tear up almost everything, and you and them and me too. If it got excited or something happened, and there would be no control over that. So I'm going to put this in here. Let me get that in there. Okay, got it in there. The sound is so much better. So, ulterior motive. So I took the bull in there. I knew the bull was dangerous. And then it did do the damage. It did the damage. And then I said, oh, act like I have the Urkel syndrome. Oh, I didn't intend for that to happen. Did I do that? So now, all right, that's been on my mind ever since I've been studying this. The psychology behind ulterior motives. That's the psychology behind ulterior motives. That's doing something. You have one uh, reason for doing something, but you disguise it with another reason. Okay, the psychological framework of ulterior motives is intricate, shaped by a blend of cognitive biases, emotional drives, and social conditioning. This section delves into the psychological theories and mechanisms that explain why individuals may develop and act upon ulterior motives. One foundational concept is the theory of cognitive dissonance, which suggests that individuals have an inherent desire to maintain internal consistency. When actions do not align with beliefs, this can lead to hidden motives as individuals justify their behavior to themselves or others. And I was thinking about when I was saying earlier, it could be for control. It could be because a person doesn't feel secure. Those things. There are reasons for ulterior motives. Control. Control is one of them. Another key aspect is the role of defense mechanisms. Psychologists posit that ulterior motives can act as a defense against perceived threats to one's self esteem or social standing. You hear that? There are people out here clamoring for power, clamoring to run other people's lives. And when they, I'm going back to the little china shop that I used as an example, when you know that something is going to go awry, you do not put someone in danger and in the sights of this that's going to happen when you know well, full well, that 99.9% of the possibility is a percentage, 99.9% that this is going to go wrong. You already know it, and you do it. So, what is the ulterior motive? Sometimes we don't want to think about things like that, but it is what it is. Another key aspect, it could be jealousy, it could be envy, it could be, like I said, clamoring for power, wanting to have control over someone else. I'm telling you. So, this is deep with me. This is deep. This is deep. So, this can manifest through behaviors like rationalization or projection, where one's own undesirable qualities or intentions are attributed to others. Social psychology also offers insights into ulterior motives, particularly through the lens of social influence and group dynamics. The need for acceptance and fear of exclusion can drive individuals to develop agendas that are covertly aligned with their goals but masked under the guise of group interests. Emotional intelligence plays a critical role as well. People with high emotional intelligence may be better at recognizing their own ulterior motives and those of others, allowing for more honest interactions and fewer misunderstandings. Evolutionary psychology provides another perspective, suggesting that ulterior motives may be an adaptive trait that helped ancestors secure resources or status more effectively. So, this perspective sees ulterior motives as a natural part of human behavior that can sometimes be beneficial. See, it's not always bad, okay? It's not always bad. It can be beneficial. It can be beneficial. But who is it beneficial to? So who's reaping the benefits? And is it causing harm to the other party? There's so much to think about in this talking about ulterior motives. Lastly, understanding the impact of personal history on ulterior motives is crucial. Childhood experiences, past traumas, and learned behaviors can profoundly influence how and why individuals develop hidden agendas. And that's why when I was saying to you before when I was studying this, when I started studying this, And then I stopped and repented because I saw the some of the causes and the traits. And I said, okay, I must repent. Okay, I'm not saying that I had the most, but when you see other people doing things, and then if we see ourselves, because sometimes we can see things in ourselves too. Say, we're not left out. No, we're not. But when you see the behaviors of others, and then you start delving off into it, and then you start remembering some of the experiences you've had and some of the actions they've taken. Then you see this information, all these studies and everything, and then you have to say, okay, I understand now. So if I was feeling a certain way about a certain thing, then I had to say, Lord, I see now. Would you forgive me for how I was feeling about that? All right. Now here's a case study. The impact of ulterior motives. This is a case study, and we are in enotalone.com. The impact of ulterior motives. The case study, or this case study, explores the real world implications of ulterior motives through the lens of a corporate scenario where a high ranking executive's hidden agenda led to a significant organization's shift. The executive, motivated by a desire for personal gain, strictly influenced project outcomes to align with his interests, which were not immediately apparent to the board or other stakeholders. This manipulation eventually came to light, resulting in a complex situation involving ethical investigations and policy revisions within the company. The fallout from these revelations highlighted the destructive potential of ulterior motives when left unchecked. The company took several steps to address the situation, including implementing stricter transparency guidelines and enhancing communication channels throughout the organization. These changes aimed to foster an environment where ulterior motives are less likely to take root. The case study concludes with reflections on the lessons learned and recommendations for other organizations on preventing similar issues, emphasizing the importance of ethical leadership and proactive governance. And we've seen governance, and we've seen and heard of companies that just went under. And then when it came out that the executives, some of them, and the company had misused the company's resources and brought them to ruin. They were uh, pretending that this was what they were doing. They had an ulterior motive, and most of the times it's greed, greed. And when you are powerful and greedy, that is dangerous, dangerous, dangerous for everybody involved. Okay, so here's an expert insight: recognizing hidden agendas. Recognizing hidden agendas. Experts in behavioral analysis and psychology provide valuable insights into recognizing hidden agendas. And I restate this: we've all been around people who have had hidden agendas. And we have had hidden agendas too. And God forbid that they were for negative reasons, because you can have an hidden agenda, but it can be for the good, but you have to disguise it as in another way in order to get the good in effect. Okay? Experts behavior And behavioral analysis and psychology provide valuable insights into recognizing hidden agendas. This section draws from their experiences and studies to outline how to detect underlying motives in personal and professional interactions. And all of us need to pay attention to this. It's never too late. We might have been on the other side of this, and some of us might have been in one of these people that did this. But now, when you learn better, you do better. And we understand sometimes people do these things and have ulterior motives, but they really don't know the basis or the core of why they have these ulterior motives, and they sometimes don't know that they have ulterior motives. Sometimes this is just their way of life because they're trying to compensate for something lacking in their lives, something that could have happened when they were children, coming up, and different things like that. All kinds of things can cause these negative ulterior motives. So, one fundamental technique is observing inconsistencies in communication. Experts suggest discrepancies between what people say and what they do can often reveal a hidden agenda. Paying attention to these inconsistencies can provide early warnings about others' intentions. Pay attention, and I know Superintendent Timmons, and when he has something to say on this page, many times he puts in there, pay attention. We need to pay attention, okay? Another key insight is the analysis of nonverbal cues, all right? Experts in body language emphasize that physical expressions often convey more than words. Understanding these cues can help decide what is not being said openly, thus uncovering hidden motives. Behavioral experts also stress the importance of context. The importance of context. They argue that understanding the broader situation or the environment in which interactions occur can offer clues about hidden agendas. So this holistic view helps in comprehending the motives behind actions more accurately. And it seems like I thought I had some tissue over here. Oh, my hair is in my eye. It's what's making my eye water in the corner over here. My hair is in my eye. Thank you for being with me today. I certainly appreciate you. Thank you so much. Step number one. Step number one. Increase self-awareness. So behavioral experts also stress the importance of context. They argue that understanding the broader situation or the environment in which interactions occur can offer clues about hidden agendas. So, this holistic view helps in comprehending the motives behind actions more accurately. So, we go into step number one. Increase self awareness. Increase self awareness. Increasing self awareness is pivotal in both recognizing and managing ulterior motives. This first step involves a deep introspective look into one's own motives and biases, which can influence interactions and perceptions. We're talking about me, you. Okay, take a look at yourself, and you will look at others differently. So begin by assessing your own values and beliefs. Reflect on how these influence your behavior and might be perceived by others. So, awareness of your own background and biases is essential for genuine interactions. It's dealing with us, isn't it? Journaling is a practical method to increase self awareness. And I told you I journal, journal. I have so many books in there. I said, if my children and grandchildren, and if I have some great grandchildren, know anything about me, they'll know what I ate that day. Okay, journaling is a practical method to increase self awareness. Writing down thoughts, emotions, and actions daily can highlight patterns that might indicate your own hidden agendas or responses to those of others. I want to check myself out right here. Make sure that everything is good. Okay, I believe so. Let me see. I want to increase my picture here. Make sure everything's good on my face and all of that. Or sometimes things can be on you and you don't know it until you go off. And I just want to make sure that everything is cool and dandy. All right. Now, all right. Go back to my side here, talking about all of this good information here. Talking about journaling. Writing down thoughts, emotions, and actions daily can highlight patterns that might indicate your own hidden agendas or responses to those of others. Meditation and mindfulness can also aid in cultivating self awareness. These practices help center your thoughts and emotions, providing clarity about your internal state and motivation. See, isn't it wonderful that we're dealing with us first? That's what we have to do. We have to deal with me, myself, and I. Take inventory, take a deep dive into myself and see what's not right in there. And then when I find something, or if I find something, I acknowledge it and then go to work on it. And after that, I'll be able to recognize what's going on with other people. Feedback from others is invaluable in this process. Encourage close friends, family, and colleagues to provide honest feedback about your interactions. This external perspective can reveal blind spots in your self perception. Professional guidance, such as from a therapist or a coach, can further deepen your understanding of self. These experts can help uncover aspects of your personality and behavior that are difficult to identify on your own. Lastly, commit to ongoing self reflection. Regularly set aside time to review your actions and motivations, adjusting your behavior to ensure it aligns more closely with your ethical standards and goals. That is some great advice. Number two, practice open communication. Practice open communication. Open communication is essential in preventing and addressing ulterior motives. This step focuses on how transparency in expressing thoughts and feelings can mitigate understandings and conflicts. Can mitigate, misunderstandings and conflicts. So I have to go back to that sentence. I'm getting this OCD thing about being right here. This step that we're in now focuses on how transparency in expressing thoughts and feelings can mitigate misunderstandings and conflicts, talking about open communication. So begin by encouraging dialogue in all your relationships. This involves sharing your thoughts and feelings clearly and listening actively to others. Open communication fosters trust and endures the chances of hidden agendas. Okay, now going back to Marion Wimberly in Denison, Texas, she said, "Don't tell all you know, but know what to tell." Because sometimes the ones you're facing up to and confiding in, they have hidden agendas. That's why we're talking about this today, okay? It's important to create a safe environment for communication. Ensure that all parties feel comfortable expressing their true thoughts without fear of judgment and retaliation. This openness can prevent the formation of ulterior motives. As direct questions ask ask direct questions. If you suspect hidden motives, sometimes simply asking for clarification can reveal more about a person's intentions and encourage them to be more open. Practice reflective listening. This means not just hearing words, but also understanding the emotions and intentions behind them. Reflective listening can help uncover unsaid motives and strengthen relationships. Lastly, be aware of your own communication style. How you convey messages can influence how openly others interact with you. Strive to be clear and straightforward, to model the type of communication you expect from others. Then we go to step 3. This is really, really good to me. How about you? Establish clear boundaries. And you know, I talk about boundaries. We talk about boundaries when the ladies are with me. Establishing boundaries and make sure that they are clear boundaries that people understand. Okay, this is as far as this goes. Okay, this is my boundary. You have to respect it. This is where I draw the line. Okay? Step 3, establish clear boundaries. Establishing clear boundaries is crucial in managing ulterior motives. Boundaries help define what is acceptable in relationships, making it harder for hidden agendas to take root. Identify your personal and professional boundaries. Be clear about what behaviors you will accept from others and what you won't. Establish those boundaries. You be comfortable with yourself. And how do you do that? By letting others know this is as far as you can go. Okay? This is the line. See that line right there? You can't come any further than that. Okay? All right. Identify your personal and professional boundaries. Be clear about what behaviors you will accept from others and what you won't. Communicating these boundaries clearly to those around you is essential. Enforce your boundaries consistently. You have to be consistent to help people to understand. And I'm serious about this. So you have to be consistent, okay? Once set, it is important to uphold your boundaries with everyone. Consistency prevents misunderstandings and reduces the opportunities for others to exploit ambiguities, okay? Ambiguities. Excuse me. All right. Okie dokie. And what is that? Let's go into it. ambiguities. Let's just go right over here and see what that is. Oh no, I copied it. I wasn't supposed to copy it. I'm supposed to search it. Search it, search it. Okay, okay. Ambiguity refers to something that can be understood in more than one way. Is a situation is a situation in which something has more than one possible meaning and may therefore cause confusion. An example of ambiguity is when a message is filled with confusing ambiguities. Okay, let me get on back to what I was talking about. All right, so it causes confusion. Exploiting. Well, I don't understand that. Will you explain this? Will you explain that? Now, make sure those boundaries are clear, okay? Be prepared to say no. Saying no to requests that violate your boundaries is a powerful way to reinforce them. It also reaches others and teaches others to respect your limits. And this is what so many people don't do. And my daughter was talking to me about some things. You know, she says sometimes I'm too accepting. And she said, Mama, you treat people, you teach people how to treat you. And you know I teach that too, don't I? So you treat people. And so I guess that I'm still a little soft in some areas because I don't like hurting people's feelings. I don't like for mine to be hurt either, you know. And so many times I hold back. But then I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at it. Understand that boundaries are healthy in all relationships. They are not signs of distrust or detachment, but are necessary for mutual respect and understanding. Review and adjust your boundaries as needed. As relationships and circumstances change, so too might your boundaries. Regularly reflecting on and adjusting your boundaries ensures they remain appropriate and effective. Ooh, I like this. We are talking about ulterior motives and how to deal with these. Step 4, seek clarification. Seeking clarification is a crucial step in dealing with ulterior motives. It involves probing deeper into interactions to understand the real intentions behind actions or words. Always ask open ended questions to uncover more information. This approach encourages others to expand on their thoughts and reveals more about their motivations. It's a technique that prevents misinterpretations and clears ambiguities. Okay? Paraphrasing what others say is another effective way to seek clarification. Restating their words in your own language can help confirm your understanding and signal any discrepancies in communication. Request specific examples when unclear about someone's intentions. This can illuminate hidden motives and ensure that both parties are on the same page. Step 5, stay objective. Stay objective. My eye is still kind of. Staying objective helps in handling ulterior motives by removing personal bias from the equation. This step focuses on analyzing situations based purely on facts and evidence. Based purely on facts and evidence. This step focuses on analyzing situations based purely on facts and evidence. Detach emotional from the situation. Detach emotionally. Detach yourself emotionally from the situation. While this can be challenging, because sometimes it's hard to detach yourself from a situation, to completely detach. It is. And it says that this can be challenging. Maintaining emotional distance allows for a clearer assessment of others' behaviors and motives. Next, focus on the facts. Gather as much concrete information as possible before forming conclusions. This helps in making informed decisions, free from the cloud of personal feelings or misinterpretations. Use logical reasoning to evaluate situations. This involves checking if conclusions logically follow from the facts rather than being influenced by assumptions or emotions. Use logical reasoning, and I'm repeating this. This involves checking if conclusions logically follow from the facts rather than being influenced by assumptions or emotions. Next, consult with unbiased third parties. Getting an outside perspective can help ensure your approach remains objective and grounded in reality. Regularly review the outcomes of decisions. This retrospective analysis can reveal whether initial assumptions were correct and help refine future approaches to similar situations. Then, step 6 tells us to build trust. Build trust. We're still in enotalone.com. Okay? Build trust. Building trust is essential in mitigating the effects of ulterior motives. It creates a foundation of reliability and openness that discourages deceit. All right? Build trust. This is what we're talking about. Start by being consistent in your actions. Consistency in what you say and do is key to building trust. People are more likely to trust someone whose actions match their words over time. Show empathy and understanding. Show empathy and understanding. Demonstrating genuine care and concern for the feelings and needs of others helps build strong, trusting relationships. Keep your commitments. When you follow through on promises, you reinforce your reliability, which is a cornerstone of trust. Oh my goodness. Number 7. Number 7. Oh my. There's still some more. So you know what I'm going to do, don't you? I am going to sign off here and I am going to go ahead and do the podcast on Spotify. And I will release that today, God willing, part 2 of dealing with ulterior motives. I thank you so much for being with me here on part 1. I love you. Thank you for joining me. Let me know you're here. And please share this information because somebody besides us needs it. I love you so much. Have a wonderful day. And God willing, part 2 will be on my Spotify podcast. I love you so much. And please feel free to send me comments and suggestions.